Hey guys, it's our host Adi and welcome to Comic Space. And you know what? Let's talk about the big bad of Deadpool and Wolverine, which is reportedly going to be Cassandra Nova. So we are going to learn all about Cassandra Nova, which also happens to be a twin sister of Charles Xavier, and we are going to talk about how major part she will be playing in this whole road to Secret Wars. And you know what? She's good as Kang the Conqueror is in terms of the power set and how major villain she is going to be in the film. So we are going to talk all about that. So we actually have a lot to talk about. Let's dive into it straight away. So Cassandra Nova is actually a twin sister of Charles Xavier, sort of. She is actually a parasitic psychic life form and she stole the body of Xavier when he was in the womb. And she even tried to strangle Chuck with his umbilical cord in the womb as well. So again, there's a lot of weird history and so again, there's a lot of history between the Charles Xavier and Cassandra, and she's actually in sort of an antithesis of all Xavier himself represents. She also created super sentinels and also massacred a lot of people of the world of Genosha. So obviously she is trying to destroy everything that Charles Xavier holds dear to. So the major thing here is that she have a quite and major history with Charles Xavier himself, and that is sort of her motto has been throughout the comics as well. So does that mean Charles Xavier is going to come into the play in Deadpool and Wolverine? I do have a very low expectation regarding Charles Xavier show up and being a major part of the film. And again, Marvel Studios is going to make some tweak and changes to her, and she's obviously going to be at a different place with a different motto in Deadpool and Wolverine. And obviously, whatever Deadpool is gonna go through the film, she's obviously going to be in the way. If you are talking about in terms of the power set and especially from the Marvel comics, she is good as Kang the Conqueror is. If you are talking about psionic blast, if you are talking about astral projection, DNA manipulation, telepathy, and obviously a lots of psychic powers, so she is just good as Charles Xavier, maybe even powerful than Charles Xavier is. But what does it actually means in terms of the whole multiversal scale? I don't think so she's gonna play a much bigger role. Much like if you are talking about Renslayer from Loki season 1 and season 2, she have a quite huge arc alongside Kang the Conqueror throughout the whole story. And talking about Cassandra Nova, she is probably gonna be the main focus in Deadpool and Wolverine only, but obviously she could have major impacts, much like Darben that we recently saw in the Marvels as well, because obviously that was a major impact that Darben had. She literally ripped through the fabric of space and time, and Monica being stranded on an X-Men led universe, which I'm pretty sure is gonna be connected to Deadpool and Wolverine. So there are major implications of what we are going to see. And again, all of the whole multiverse shenanigans that has been going through for past few years, the Marvels, Loki season 1, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man No Way Home, the fabric of space and time already has been stretched so much that whole multiverse is just about to go in total shambles. And that's where Cassandra Nova can come into play and do a little work and just make the whole multiverse a more mess than it already is. If you are talking about incursion, it can literally send a whole multiverse through incursion where every single universe is colliding with another's, or there can be other implication as well, especially if you're talking about the Fantastic Four, which is probably set in different timeline. Much like Deadpool and Wolverine, we are not going to be introduced to Fantastic Four in the 616 continuity, but in totally different timeline in which it is still time of the 60s, 1960s. So like that, there can be a lot of implication. It may be like that Fantastic Four has to face an incursions, and that's how they are able to step into the 616 continuity of the MCU. So I think to bring all of these characters like Deadpool and Wolverine and the Fantastic Four from in different timelines to the 616 continuity is quite tricky, because you have to give those characters something so important that they have to leave their previous universe, especially if you're talking about Wade Wilson. He is living in his revised timeline. He went back in time and fixed all of the things that he wanted, but obviously there has to be something that is missing so that you can bring all of these characters into the MCU. But again, I think the major thing here is that can happen, she can lead to the build-up of the battle world. So, we already have seen that Secret Wars comic issue number 5 featuring Beyonder and Doctor Doom on the cover, and that issue dealt with the introduction and the building of the battle world. And I think that is just not in reference, that is just there for us to see, but it can have much more major implication. It actually can lead into the whole building of the battle world, and that's where Cassandra Nova can come into play, and to lead all of the other stuff that we are going to see in the Fantastic Four, maybe even in Spider-Man 4, Shang-Chi 2, which are also said to be in very pivotal projects in the whole multiverse saga. This is why I just really love to talk about the multiverse saga, because there are just so many dynamics and one thing can go in so many different ways. Where if you are talking about the Infinity Saga, it was a very much grounded and a linear storyline, and I think we all knew where it was headed. But if you're talking about the multiverse saga, and there's just so much diversification, and majority of characters we are probably not even going to be the part of the Avengers 5, because there are different storylines that they're working for, and not just the multiverse stuff. They are working on the Midnight Suns project, they are also building Young Avengers, they are doing so many stuff at the same point of time. And I think that also created the whole Marvel multiverse roller coaster that we have been for a couple of years now, and it even may have been gone to a point of overwhelmingness to fans and even at Marvel Studios as well. But I think it just has been very much fun if you're talking about the multiverse saga, because of the dynamics and the level and the scale of the projects that we are seeing in, and obviously the treat of seeing Deadpool and Wolverine and all of these characters that we have been waiting to see in the MCU. So again, like I said, it is gonna get much more clear as we head to Avengers 5. So, well, that's it for this video guys, but before you go, you can consider to grab that subscribe button so don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel or DC update. I'm so glad that you guys got the time to hear me out. Thanks for listening to me. This is your host Adi signing off. See you in the next one.